So, I've never done one of these before, and I'm apologizing in advance. I look super basic today, just off of work. But I've been thinking about doing one of these videos for a little while to kind of help people who might have trans folks in their life and they're struggling to understand it or like hesitant to ask questions. One of the most frequent things to happen when I do get asked a question is I hope I don't offend you, but first off, I can't speak for all trans people, but me personally, you're never going to offend me by asking a question. That's how you learn. Um, so I thought about like doing a little video and then uploading it, but I tried that and I got way too picky over it. So I'm just going to go for it. So one of the things I wanted to address in this first video is a lot of times um, I get asked about like support or lack thereof, or people using my name or my pronouns. So to start with, we'll go with the pronouns and my name. So there are people who have struggled to use it, but I've been lucky in that most of the people in my life have tried, at least from day one. Um, and those who have tried and screw up or haven't done very well, so what? They're trying. That's all that really matters to me. You can mispronoun or misname me 9 times out of 10, and that 10th time that you catch it means the world to me. The rest is kind of whatever. And usually I don't correct people. There's a couple people that I'm really close to that I will occasionally, but usually the correction doesn't come from me, it comes from somebody else that I care about. Um, so the people that don't make any effort, like flat out, I don't care, I'm never going to call you this, most of them have changed their minds over time when they've seen that this isn't a phase. Um, but in reality, it's not something worth losing my sleep over. Like I said, 95, 96% of even those have changed. Some of them in the last few months, some longer ago. Um, so if you're trans, don't let it bug you too much, it'll change. And if you are learning how to cope with a family member who's in transition, just give it your best. They'll understand. Hell, there's times when I'll be drinking a little bit or talking and I'll mispronoun myself. I'm still super new to the transition. I've been out for a year. Um, so just don't let it bug you too much. As for support, I have been so blessed in that all of my core family has stood by me. All of my closest friends stood by me. Um, I did lose some people, but like the people that matter most, like I said, my close friends, my mom, my fiance now, um, all of her family, um, my kind of step-in father figure. He kind of filled that role after my dad passed away. As well as growing up, he was always there for me. Him and his whole family accepted me. So I've been super blessed. But I did have those that turned their back. I was fortunate in most the people that I knew or was related to stuck by me, but a lot of like my ex's family, like they stood by me through the divorce and everything else. And then when I came out 2 years after separation, nope, nothing to do with me anymore. There's some that didn't follow that trend though. There are some that I still talk to. They support me. They're absolutely amazing. A vast majority of them walked away though. An aunt and uncle that had meant the world to me walked away because it was unchristian. So it sucks, yes, but like I said, I was blessed in that I still had the core. And there's always going to be somebody out there who will support you. If you're somebody who's in transition that needs support, hit me up. I'll be there for you. Anytime you need, send me a message. Blow up my phone if you have to on the message. If you just need to to vent and get it out, shoot me a message that says don't read this or don't listen to it, whatever, and blow it up. I'll just delete it. I won't even look at it. But there's always going to be people that can support you if you look for it. Don't let it get it down. Don't let it get you down. I can't talk tonight. Sorry, it's been a long day. So it is going to hurt when you lose people, but ultimately they don't matter. If they're going to walk away from you over who you are, they had no right to be in your life in the first place. Kick them to the curb and don't look back. Now there are some people in my life who have come back in after initially not being able to handle it, and they thought about it, and we talked, and we gave each other another chance, which is amazing. So those are some two, like, really, really big things. And the biggest thing is support. Friends, family. If you have somebody who's in transition, I know it's so hard to understand. It's so hard to empathize or relate to if you're not. So the biggest thing is you don't have to like it. You don't have to think anything about it. Just be there for them. You know, when I came out and I was talking with people, I never ever really even asked anybody to approve of my choice or support my choice. I just asked that they be there for me and support me, whether or not they agreed with me. And if it's somebody you care about, isn't that worth it? So those are the first two most common questions that I get asked. The second third, would probably be, like, how do you deal with your insecurities? And this is a touchy one, especially since the HRT. Before hormone therapy, I wasn't super sensitive or super insecure. And I feel like in general, when I need to, I hide it pretty well, but I have definitely noticed myself getting a little bit more insecure, a little bit more emotional, and by a little bit, I mean a lot of it. But the hard part was, like, when I first came out, like my first 4 or 5 months even going out as me, like even before I came out publicly, like I would just go, like, out to dinner or something real quick as me, and then back home, and it was so scary, super nerve-wracking, but in general people were accepting. It's definitely a much better day and age now than it used to be. We still have a long way to go, but it's better. It's one of those things, we go back to support with the insecurities. Find somebody who you trust and ask them to go with you. I'm very lucky. My then roommate, now fiance, was super supportive of everything from the beginning. And if I was nervous to go out, she would offer to go with me. So definitely find support. Find somebody who cares enough about you to not really give a damn. We wound up going to Sherry's, just a couple blocks away from the house. We still love that place to this day just because of how supportive they are. And there will be bad encounters, but don't let them stop you. I remember there was one time I was at Sherry's, and this group of people, they were making it obvious that they were talking about me. They kept looking over their shoulder, and then they'd say something, and the whole table would laugh, and they'd look over again, and I kind of just ignored it. And I'd finally gotten a little bit sick and tired of it, and I finally said, "Is there something wrong?" And they said, "Yeah, you're a stupid tranny whore." And it killed me. I mean, this was like my first 2 or 3 weeks out, one of my first times going out by myself, and one of the waitresses had heard what was going on, and she grabbed a cook, and both of them approached the table. Oh, and by the way, when he said, "You're a stupid tranny whore," I says, "Well, that might be, but I still hit like a boy." That's what caught their attention. And they came out and they ended up throwing the other table out. Like, they'd heard the whole exchange, they knew what happened, and they threw the other table out. So even around you, if you feel like you're under attack, there's always going to be somebody there that's going to help. But having somebody with you always makes you feel safer. So if you have somebody in your life who is in transition and you're trying to find a way to even just be there and you're struggling with it, go out to dinner with them, go for a walk, something. It's something they're going to love to do, especially if they're early in transition and nervous. They're going to take any chance to go out and be themselves and feel safe. I'm not going to do really any longer tonight on this. I'm hoping that Facebook saves these live videos. I've never done one before. But there'll be more to come as I get or think of more of the common questions. And if you want something addressed, feel free to ask and I will, to the best of my ability, address it. Whether, like I said, whether you're trans yourself or you have somebody in your life who is trans, or if I'm the person in your life that's trans and you're nervous to ask a question or there's something you want to know, feel free. Like I said, I never get offended. So just comment on this. I'll go through them in a couple of days, and I'll make another video then. Bye. I don't know how to end this thing.